Hi, everybody. So, I felt to do a message for the solstice, and that is if you're in the summer, if this is your summer solstice, which is happening tonight at 11 p.m. and how many minutes? 43 minutes UK time. This is illuminating the state of your inner masculine. So, the masculine part is the part of us that provides and protects, the part that creates security, safety, and honors our needs by ensuring that, we honor our time and our energy and by charging for our gifts, that we don't just share because we live in a transactional society, but there's fair remuneration. So if your inner masculine is disempowered, if he's not able to assert your needs to get, a fair and equitable remuneration to take care of you, chances are this summer solstice will evoke fears of survival, of not surviving if you don't have enough money. And this can result in overworking, frying our nervous system. And this is something I've been personally journeying with in the lead up to this solstice. And it became clear to me on the yoga mat this morning that while I've been focused on wanting to support men through the opposite, the winter solstice, which evokes the state of our inner feminine, our inner mother, how well we can nurture ourselves and process our emotions so that we don't end up at risk of depression, illness, injury, and suicide due to lack of self-care. The opposite is true. Women are more at risk of summer solstice, of nervous exhaustion, of overdoing because they don't feel safe. They don't, particularly I think women that are on their own that don't have the backup of a man to help provide and protect them in a world that is very transactional, and with the rate of inflation being cranked up by the globalists, you know, there's an escalating tension around being able to provide and protect and have enough money to take care of our needs. So, you know, the way I experience this is not just overworking, but also feeling victimized and persecuted by the system. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So, if you grew up in a household with a masculine authority figure that was punitive rather than restorative, so somebody that was controlling, um, somebody that used money as a way of controlling your behavior. So withholding funds if you didn't do what it was they thought you should do, then chances are um, there's a traumatized inner masculine in you. And this is something that I've been, journeying in the lead up to this solstice so that I then project that unconscious expectation onto my subjective experience. So I've been experiencing so much bureaucracy and red tape just to try and see my daughter because she needs a new passport. And they've introduced new rules and regulations where an adult in Australia needs to provide a hard copy, the original birth certificate of their parent in order to get a passport. And mine was destroyed in floods which were cloud seeded in Byron Bay, which was targeted in 2021 because it was a place where people went that, were escaping the abuses of human rights that were happening in the major cities. And that's because it's the most eastern point of Australia. It's a birthing portal, and it was the place where the tribes would meet for an annual corroboree, a sharing of ideas. And it's on a lot of black obsidian crystal, so it's a place that calls you when it's time for you to journey through a transition or a turning point in life. So it's very powerful. So this place was targeted, and it was targeted not just with geoengineered weather events where I lost, not just all my identification, but all my furniture, all my child's photos. It was a huge shamanic death. And then they introduced a census just for that township, where if you didn't comply with providing your information to the government every single month by filling in a 10-page form, you would be fined $200 a day for every day you didn't comply. And when I said no to that, I left Australia and took myself off the electoral roll. So the thing is, if you're compliant, you don't necessarily see the tightening of totalitarian surveillance and control, which is being put in place as part of the lead up to Agenda 30, which is trying to bring in an architecture of total surveillance by the year 2030 globally. And but if you're someone like I am, who has freedom as a very high value, who follows the impulse of your soul as your inner authority rather than doing the sort of expected norm, then you'll find that you're pushing up against external authority. And this can evoke trauma. It can evoke, if you've grown up in a very patriarchal household where, you felt oppressed by the masculine and not your soul not seen and understood and nurtured. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know we're all interconnected in the quantum field. So if I'm feeling this, chances are there are women and feminine dominant men all over the planet that are also struggling with their inner masculine at this time of extreme yang, extreme masculine energy, especially because this summer solstice in the UK or in the Northern Hemisphere is exacerbated by the zenith of the 12-year cycle known as the solar maximus. And we've had so much solar storms injecting plasma, high octane waves of solar energy in. What does that do? It evokes our fears for us to see them so that we can be the inner guru and turn the inner darkness transmuted into the light of wisdom and understanding. So I just wanted to take a moment to share that with you today. So it's not just those that are journeying the darkest night in the Southern Hemisphere, and we send our love to you, that need support, but those who are journeying through the longest day, that, need the support for their inner masculine. So I have heeded a calling, a dear brother who drove me to Morocco, has rung me out of the blue to say, did I want to go to Stonehenge to see the dawn for the summer solstice? And I said, yes. But first I had to do this video. So if you're watching this and you're going to be at the solstice gathering at Stonehenge, I will be there with tribe on the land greeting the dawn. And I haven't been since I did private ceremony there for the dawn for the Venus conjunction on 2016. And I had an incredible experience there. I experienced these beautiful blue beings coming out of the stones, who felt like grandfather druids. And so I'm really looking forward to going there. If I have any Wi-Fi, I would love to do a transmission from there, sharing a meditation initiation, which I received in a drumming circle, shamanic women's circle last Saturday. And I was told to share it with as many people as possible at my festival events. And I'll be hosting a solstice ceremony at 8 p.m. tomorrow in Lewis for the Zoo Solar Flare dance party. with the sacred ceremony at 8 till 8:30. So if you want to come and join me for that, that'd be lovely. The details are on Facebook. If you look up the ZU Facebook group, you'll see the details. So thanks for watching. If you feel like this is resonant, you have my blessing to share it. Blessings on your solstice, wherever you are on the planet. And yeah, we're living in extraordinary times, and we are extraordinary for being here. Ciao for now.